Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Hey, raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Raise it up. North side, raise it up. South side, raise it up. East side, raise it up. West side, raise it up. Raise it up. Raise it up. Raise it up. North side, raise it up. South side, raise it up. East side, raise it up. The west side, raise it up. Raise it up. Raise it up. Raise it up. Raise it up.
Damn, that was loud. It scared me. Okay, hold on. We gotta do it one more time now. We got she. It was a very short prayer, but it was real. She said smoking, drinking. Okay. Hey loves, hey loves, hey loves. My name is Wyann Vaughn. I also go by Y. And this is another incredible episode of Raise It Up, Y, the podcast. We are coming at you the final Thursday in the month of June. In an episode we are calling, I think I just changed the name quickly to This Is What Makes You Solid. Yeah. Because the other name is Fuck All That Happy to Be Here Shit That Y'all Want Me On. And that's just a very long title, but it's really what I feel, okay? If we're just talking about, you know, shouts out to Kendrick, I feel like a chip on my shoulder. I feel like I'm losing composure. You know, if we're talking about what I feel, then, and allow me to hold this mic, guys. I'm not playing games today. I'm holding, the middle of my back feels crazy. All right. Let me just talk about it. I worked out twice. I did not stretch enough. And when you're in your 40s, there's no skimping. You don't do yoga because it's cute or it puts you around, like, you know, the baddie hive and stuff like that. No, you do it to still be able to move. Okay. And I'm not here for the games. I ain't really trying to play no game. So once again, I'm Wyann Vaughn in a crazy intro that we're doing on the 84th episode of this podcast. Yeah, everywhere I go, my name is Solid. Let's call this episode Solid. I think it'd be shorter, even though it's really called Fuck All That Happy to Be Here Shit That Y'all Want Me On. For those of you that don't know, Raise It Up Y is where OGs kick game to real ones only. Real ones are the students in my podcast space, and OGs, original guides, GUIDES, are the educators or the edutainers, if you're me, in my space. We also have meditainers. We have a lot of tainers. So just so you know, you're in good company if you do entertainment and anything else. When we say raise it up, what are we raising? We are raising your self-awareness, your vibration, and your capacity for love, which is knowledge. If you are rocking with us on this podcast in the year 2025, then that means you have been with us for 6 years, and we are currently building our 7th year. What a divine number. What a divine time. What a time to be alive. All right. And this is great because we enjoy spreading non-corny positive vibes, meaning we meet you where you are. All right. And we do that using hip hop culture from the West Coast to the world, Craig. All right. So if you are a YouTube onlooker or a love onlooker, as we call you, thank you for taking in this beautiful set design that my angels have done for me. Onet_Ashe is behind this camera right here. Cup of Sue, what it do, is, of course, to my right in the other room. We even have another one of my beautiful graduates from the first college where I used to teach. And he might even be gracing us with a little bit of his voice because he told me that he does not want to be in front of the screen. We waited for him to get here. We are taping at a completely later time because we thought we would have the input of this young gentleman. All right. You all have seen him on this pod before. A Swoosh on Instagram. You understand me? My young boy, Alvin. You understand? He a YN. If you ever never seen him, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. He is a freaking accountant, if anything. But yeah, and a child of God is what he also is. It is a early late night, so we are just having fun already. If you can't tell, if you're a love onlooker, thank you for your non-refundable time and energy and your ability to see how well I have done up makeup and how done up I am. We'll get to that in just a second. If you are a love listener, thank you, because faith comes by hearing, and I haven't met a person who can unhear anything yet. So you're so valuable if you are listening on any of the places where you can consume this podcast. Coming back to these love onlookers, let's get to you guys for a second. I have on a different outfit than normal. Let me put down this 13 Presents computer and show you guys what you came to see. All right. Pick up the mic that has all the sound. She's your queen to be. You don't know which mic is giving you all the sounds. Hello. Talk to her nicely. If you're onlooking, you will see that I have a tiara, or a crown. Actually, it's not a tiara. A princess wears a tiara. A queen wears a crown. Talk to her forever nicely. I was crowned queen, and I have this very dope mic from Sway's Universe and the Happy Hour with HeatherB. I'm giving them their shout out right now, even though they're also at the end of the episode in the pay your dues section. I'll talk about that when I'm in that part of the episode, but I had such a ball going out with my friend at Cue the Music. I've shouted him out and his business last pod. My homeboy Quentin, one of my longest friendships, over 20 years of friendship, that guy and me. And I was kind of in a wave, man. I was and have been having a really real year. 2025 is a real year for the kid, all right? And as I'm undergoing a lot of healing, as I am doing a lot of soul searching, being really honest with the Wyann show. I call everyone's life their show. So as I'm being really honest with the Wyann show, getting out to the Happy Hour with HeatherB and Sway's Universe and Sway himself in sunny California, Los Angeles last week, I got to just sing, just get out and get some love boosting, happiness, singing, just being with other soft, light, free feeling people. And like I said, at the end of this episode in the pay you do section, I do plan to shout a lot of the people out that I met, including my newfound loves that I sat with in the overflow audience section of HeatherB's Happy Hour karaoke night. Man, I am so thankful for people who see you when they don't even know you need to be seen. It's almost fascinating how you can be around people intimately, constantly, consistently, and sometimes those folks can take you or your presence for granted. And instead of seeing you, they see the image they've stamped in their mind of you. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, that person is there. Whoever that person is, whoever, is being taken for granted. Sometimes this happens at work. Sometimes this happens in families. And sometimes this happens in your friendships, your relationships, interpersonal, romantic relationships. I'm going to dedicate this episode to all of my solid, real ones. All of the folks that are committed to being with people on their journeys, seeing them as they consistently flow through life and continue to evolve, continue to grow. And we're going to have some cool lessons in this episode. So pretty much surprise intro, because I didn't know I was going to say all this stuff. I also didn't know I was going to treat this rhinestone beautiful mic that I got from HeatherB as my A mic, because I just realized for certain I'm speaking into this one second. I got to be honest with you. My whole ass podcast mic. Let me put this amazing beautiful mic down. Let me stop showing you my chichas. All the guys just went to YouTube right now. It's a joke. It's Pride Month, so whoever enjoys chichas went to. All right, so let's ground this episode. How about that? This episode definitely needs to be grounded because it's flying, baby. Grounding is the segment of this podcast where I separate the space, time, and energy that you were on before you joined us to really help you dig into the space that we're curating for you. I am a trained therapist, non-traditionally practicing, and by way of that, this might be one of the most consistently therapeutic things that I bring to this podcast. And it is a modality. It is an intervention that's used in therapy in order to make sure you are where your feet are. Body, soul, mind, spirit, emotions, cognitively, bring you to the present. We do a lot of our life not there. So this grounding is like a poem, and I say, take a moment, be here with me, hear my voice, feel your feet. To be sure you're down in your nether regions there, let's just wiggle those toes. Now bring your awareness up through your body, touch your nose, and you're not doing that for any other reason than just to prove that you are here. How about we breathe a breath in, blow a breath out. Do that again, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Take a moment, own this. This is a miracle called life. That you're breathing, you are winning just because you are living this life. Just by spending this time with my voice right now, you're investing in your betterment. And I want you to sit with that and feel proud. Let's go up. Here's why I wanted to call this episode what I wanted to call it. This is a break it down. Break it down is where I uncover the already existing genius in hip hop culture. And we usually do that by way of explicating lyrics to rap songs, or like last year we did a lot of, because of the beef, Kendrick and Drake. Used to be Kendrick, Drake, and Cole. But there was a lot of breaking down aspects of hip hop culture so that people who may not be, shouts out to Sway's following citizens, Sway's universe, his loves, as we call ourselves, Luv Culture, and we are loves, his are called citizens. If you are not a citizen of hip hop culture, the community, the global community of hip hop culture, then sometimes you hear words that are said, you see things play out in the hip hop space, but because you're a visitor in our space, you might not fully understand why you're seeing what you're seeing. And sometimes you just don't understand what you're seeing, lyrically, what you're hearing, So break it down is the portion of the pod where I try to enlighten in that regard. Fuck all the happy to be here shit that y'all want me on. I'm the big homie. They still be trying to little bro me, dog. That is one of my most memorable lyrics from Drake's 2013 Nothing Was the Same album. One of my favorite songs on that album called Pound Cake, featuring none other than Jay-Z. And I feel like that particular quote goes really well with Kanye's from, I believe it was from Higher. Faster, Stronger. That don't kill me. That song is called Stronger, isn't it? It's not Higher. That song is called Stronger. It's called Stronger, no? Yeah. Okay, Stronger, yeah. You should be honored by my lateness, that I would even show up to this fake shit, is what Ye spoke about. Funnily, I know Drake and Kanye are not 2025's favorite rappers for many reasons. And also, the month of June is Men's Health Month. as well, therefore, as Men's Mental Health Month. And I like to venture into the psyche of male rappers through their lyrics with this particular break it down, so we can see how sometimes there's stuff that's being missed as they are, you know, showing up to these events. They are accepting these awards. They are engaging in beefs. They are taking on companies and conglomerates. And sometimes they are doing this really well. And other times they are doing this piss poor. How they take on these things is individualized. Nobody gets an excuse in my world for how they do what they do. But I think it's just important to not throw members of this community like Drake or Kanye away for this moment. And so I thought it was interesting that both of these men would be who I would use. Now, that's about as deep as I'm going to get into the gentleman. And now I want to just focus on these words. When I first ever heard "fuck all that happy to be here shit that y'all want me on," it made me go back to a conversation I had with Ill Camille. Shouts out to the illest Camille anybody knows. West Coast rapper, top 100 that was left off of Game's list, respectfully. But she should be in there. LA's top rappers list, and she should be in there. We were talking about, she and I, this is years ago, about getting into the industry and being around a lot of our heroes for the first time. And there was this giddiness that we both identified with and we both expressed. And in doing so, there was this, like, as we matured, and we were talking about this, of course, looking over the 20 some odd year span of us being active in the LA hip hop scene. And she and I were just talking about the fact that, damn, like, there used to be times where we was getting played low key, but we was just so happy to be in the room or around the people. And I remember in 2013 hearing that "fuck all that happy to be here shit that y'all want me on." And it made me think about that conversation I had with Ill Camille. And it's something I've had tatted on the inside of my heart, walking into rooms in, at the very least, 2020, 2019 and beyond. I can tell you that. Honey, it's not my pleasure for you to learn and discover that the Wyann show is dope. That's not my pleasure. That's yours, respectfully. If Wyann is playing her game right, she should know that she's a bar when she wakes up. She is a bar when she steps on that scale, regardless of what the number says. She is a bar when she's fresh out of the sauna. She is a bar when she has meal prepped. She is a bar when she is eating a candy bar. She is a bar when her bank account has 5 to 6 figures in it. And she is a bar when there are 3 figures in it. Because Wyann Vaughn is a bar. Everything I just spoke about is an auxiliary feature to who and what she is. And so there's something that one of the loves spoke about in a light work. If you don't know what a light work is, it's too much to explain right now. Just trust me, walk with me for a second. In a light work, one of my loves told me, if I can have a conversation with you back and forth, by virtue of the fact that we are connecting, my words are connecting with your ears or your eyes if we're on social media, and you are connecting back with me, newsflash, we're on the same level. That's ambitious, because that would mean that all fans are on the same level as their favorite artist if their favorite artist responds to them. And physically, maybe not. However, if your favorite artist hops from their space in life to respond to, let's say, a hate tweet or a hate comment or a shade room comment or anything like that, guess what? You have effectively just jumped down to, you know, username 644 in the basement of their Oklahoma apartment. Yeah, you just stooped down to their level. or stooped to their level. I'm not going to call it down because who knows what these people level are. Well, if you saying negative shit, then yeah, down to your level, respectfully. If I can converse with you, then newsflash, we are on the same level. If I'm walking into a room, a studio, a classroom, a boardroom, a job interview, I'm at the level. We have this interview to determine whether I'm your cup of tea and whether this works for my situation as well. Yeah, that's okay. But if you can see me and I can see you, if we can have conversation, if our hands are shaking, there is no happy to be here energy. There is a recognition of who I am and a thankfulness to be in your presence. That's called appreciation, by the way. It's not gratefulness, because gratefulness says, oh, I'm so unworthy that I'm even in this space. Thank you for even acknowledging me. I'm so grateful. Absolutely not. The level of appreciation, the acknowledgement of appreciation is staying on your own team, not kicking yourself off of your own team to walk in a building, to be in a space, to love on a new lover, to meet someone new, to network, to be at a mixer. However you look at it, if you can communicate with someone, you are on their level in some physics level, in some energetic world. If there is mutual energy shared, congratulations, you're on the level. So I want to make sure that you're happy to be here, happy go lucky. I'm so little. It's so great that this person has acknowledged me. Even if you feel that, hold it, sit with it, be in recognition that you're in the same space as someone else, and then allow yourself to enjoy the fullness of your moment being there. Get really present and just move from appreciation as opposed to gratefulness. That's what I mean by fuck all that happy to be here shit that y'all want me on. And then when Kanye follows up with, you should be honored by my lateness, that I would even show up to this fake shit. Boy, I used to feel like that going to the job where I met all three of these cute little people, all these graduates in this motherfucker right now. Promising you, there were just so many things about the space that had a lack of parity with the vision, the greatness, the ascension, the evolution, the maturation that I knew I was destined for, and let the people who saw me every day tell it, they couldn't see that I was at the level that, given a couple months or given a couple years, I absolutely proved I was on. Also, stop going places you have to prove who the fuck you are. Wasn't that the Wyann's Words of Wisdom like 2 episodes ago? Absolutely was. And we had borrowed that from episode that Susie found. It wasn't episode 56. It was one before that. No, it was last episode. Go more places where you're given permission, not proof. You're given permission to be who you are. You don't have to prove who you are. That's exactly, it was last episode. It wasn't 2 episodes ago. It was episode 83. I believe. No. That was Focus's one. My bad. Okay. No, it was another one. Yeah. Because this is episode 84. So that was, okay. I got you. But I just wanted to give you all that tidbit from our good friends, Drake and Kanye. I'm going to say our good friends because prayerfully, those men are doing well during this men's health and mental health month. Even when you take a very, very public L, as all, I think both of those gentlemen have done, and some of them are continuing to perform actions that affirm corniness, respect to those guys. I always want to leave room for the hope that there is better, and that they can reach better, and that they know that their community is still around. Not just the fans. Fuck a fan, bro. I mean, like, when they reach a level of awareness that says, hey, yo, I'm big tripping. I was big tripping, wasn't I? I want there to be people within our community that say, yeah, bro, you were. Now, are you ready for this redemption tour or no? That's what I want to keep the vibration and the channel clean and open for. because they both deserve it. They're both men. They're both humans. You know what I'm saying? And being a part of this human thing, I would hope that, you know, we could see them that way. And with that, let's get into a HiWy. HiWy is the portion of this podcast where my loves, aka my listeners in Luv Culture, the community of people who support this podcast as well as everything Wyann Vaughn, they send me things. They talk with me. They ask me questions, and if ever it's too lengthy of a response for me to address in the moment, I bring it to the pod, and this is exactly that same thing. I believe All Hail King Saint Supreme 2.0. I believe that's who brought me this meme, if you will, by a gentleman named Corey Muscata, or it could be like mascara, but with a U for the first A. Here's what the meme said, excuse me. Instead of asking, will they approve of me? Ask, will I stand by myself even if they don't? Self-abandonment is a high price to pay for acceptance that was never guaranteed anyway. Lord have mercy. I read that and felt immediately annoyed. I felt immediately annoyed because, as I said at the top of this pod, 2025 has been a year of healing. It's been a year of self-realization and getting really honest with the Wyann show, as I like to say. And as a result, I gotta say, I learned my preferred method of self-abandonment. And I'm gonna share it with you guys because I'm transparent that way and I'm honest that way. And if my self-realizations help any of y'all out there, then fuck it. I want to help, you know, in the spirit of mental health, which May was, and of course, June being for the gents. And like 80% of my following is gents. So that's why I keep bringing that up. My favorite form of self-abandonment, I learned, was not speaking up for Wyann when I felt a transgression had been performed against me. If I felt that there was a form of disrespect that happened towards me, because I figured, you know what, I got my own back. Everything is going to be all right. Much like the meme said from this Corey gentleman. I said, you know what, I'm going to be all right. It'll be cool. Now, if the same person tried to talk about Onette, that's a bad day for you. It's the same person tried to talk about Alvin or Susie. That's going to be a bad day for you, because I don't tolerate any form of disrespect for my babies. And while they're all their own variations of 30 in their eyes, so they think, as they all think they growing up and shit, crazy. I'm like, I still see them when they walk through my office doors for the first time. I still see them as these young, innocent, 18-year-old, beautiful, new adults, just fresh. I'm talking about still smell like baked bread, brand new adults, right? Coming into my office, wide-eyed, hopeful, ambitious, beautiful babies. So if somebody speaks on them, I don't see that the 30-year-old that they think they are is getting disrespected. I see that 18-year-old walking in my office being torn down, and I will become animalistic and territorial and venomous towards someone that would think that they could tear down my babies. All right. So if I could see that for them, why not myself? What version of me do I think deserves disrespect, being lied to, being gaslit, played around with, a lack of fidelity towards self, a betrayal? What age did Wyann say, okay, at this part of adult, you get to kick yourself off your own team because you're such a stand up for your relationships, for the people around you, for your family, for your friends, for your dude, for your job, this is when you get to kick yourself off your own team, which is self-abandonment. La respuesta es nah, nigga. The answer is no. That is not okay. It's not okay when you do it to my students, and it's for fuck sure not okay when you do it to me. So when I look at this meme from the Corey gentleman, and he talks about when you go somewhere and you wonder questions like, will they approve of me? I think about going for that new job. I think about getting into that new school. I think about going places, and it's, will they approve of me? The question to ask yourself, as Corey gave us, was, will you stand by you even if they don't? Do you self-abandon and kick yourself off your own team when the studio session and everybody in it says that the vibe, the actual vibe, is to play like you're bi? The actual vibe, I know you came here as a songwriter, but you see the other songwriters in here getting freaky and dancing to this music and kissing on one another. Don't you want to stay in this session? Are you going to be the oddball out? Or do you follow suit? Those types of questions are the ones you have to answer. Standing up and being a stand-up is something that you have to decide to do in your quiet time, in your self-reflective time, in your yoga time. For me personally, it's my hiking, my yoga, my sauna time. Those are my times where I get to play through different things and look at where Wyann could stand to gain a sense of assertiveness. Also, I just feel like this is not exactly on topic, but I feel like it's really smart to bring up. Stop being scared of your anger. The emotion called anger is really important. Without anger, you don't know where to set a boundary. Because if you always are so happy to be here, fuck all that happy to be here shit. But if you are always so happy to be here and, oh, I'm so non-deserving, I'm so grateful for this opportunity, I'm so grateful to be in your presence, I'm so grateful that this guy finally hit me back and I haven't had a date all 2025. Nigga, please. In real life, please, bro. However, if you stay with something or someone and there is a violation, if you aren't in touch with the emotion called anger, you won't recognize that you've been violated, and therefore you won't know that you are at the extent of your authenticity, which means you need to place a boundary. You can only be authentic within your boundaries. So if you don't allow yourself to feel anger, you won't know when you start showing up as the fake bitch. You won't know when you start turning into the pick me. You won't know when you start turning into the fuck boy. You won't know when you start turning into the yes man. You just won't know because you haven't allowed yourself to say, hold up, what the fuck? What the helly? What the hell? My bad. The kids just taught me that, so let that happen. But because you're not clocking it, that's what they also taught me. Clocking it. So if you're not clocking the disrespect as something that feels like anger, people say, I can't feel my anger. I have an anger problem. If anybody thinks they have an anger problem, then you're gaslighting yourself. You actually have an abuse problem. Anger in and of itself is fucking healthy. Now, if you decide to feel anger and allow yourself, you give yourself permission to do fuck shit, you have an abuse problem, kiddo. Welcome to Wyann, going through therapy and coaching as a queen over my white titties. No, it's just the dress. If you're not watching, it doesn't make sense what I just said. Anyways, guys, listen, respectfully, I just wanted to make sure that when you're talking about, and whoever sent me this, if it wasn't All Hail King Saint Supreme, I apologize. It might have been Davon Calder. I can't remember who sent me this. But the point is, self-abandonment is a high price to pay for the acceptance of a motherfucker that might not have ever guaranteed to really see or accept you anyways. So why are you kicking yourself off your own team? Which is self-abandonment. Ask yourself these questions now. Do it while you're young. I'm 43. Don't wait till 43 to learn it. Do it while you're, as these kids think they are, 30. Do it back then. What? I think the kid's birthday, JF Music's, his birthday's on Friday. Do it when you're 22. Do it while you're young. Do it now. So you build up a practice of making sure that you are building self-trust and you remain authentic, which you can only do within your boundaries. And now we will skate like this. Skate, 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 skate. We are skating like our good friend Skateboard P into Wyann's words of wisdom. Everywhere I go, my girl is solid. Hey, everywhere she is solid. Wait, Alvin, is that new Ty Dolla $ign out? Or is it coming out? That's a good question. Okay, because that Solid song is like one of my favorite Ty Dolla $ign songs. Damn. Now I can only hear it. So sorry. I'm in my head right now. This Wyann's words of wisdom comes from one of our conversations in the Love Lounge. If you don't know what that is, wait till the pay your dues. We can talk about it later. This is what makes you solid. That's the Wyann's words of wisdom. This is what makes a person solid. And you have to just listen to know what makes you solid. And I'm going to have this tie into one of the episodes from our past, because as a rule, all 2025 in our 7th year of existence, I'm going back and throwing it back to episodes that we've previously done, because we cover so much ground in each episode that sometimes you might not realize there's a hidden gem in episode 56, 32, and this month's episode is 14. That's the first episode of 2020, actually. Here's what makes a person solid. Moving with integrity, having accountability, authenticity, self-acceptance, exercising faith or the assurance in things unseen. The truth is not meant to make you feel better. It's meant to make you better. And that's a part of self-awareness from my boy, Cue the Music. Have a moral code. Live by principles, not emotions. A person is solid when they accept me fully, but also corrects me lovingly. Being solid goes both ways as well. It's back to trust and faith, says Young Fly and Flashy. I trust you to give me the real, and you have to believe that I'm solid enough to accept your criticism without thinking that you're attacking me. Whew, and that's tough, because people who aren't good with accountability, no matter how softly you say the truth, when you say it to them, for people who aren't good with accountability, they will take your soft honesty as an attack. Trust me, I was around one for a long time. Being solid also entails having discernment. All Hail King Saint Supreme 2.0 says. So the essence is that they move with wisdom and not impulse. They peep energy, they read a room, and they act accordingly, not recklessly. Learn this. What makes a person solid is the fact that they don't fuck with the happy to be here energy. They recognize their worth, so they can say things like, you should be honored by my lateness, that I would even show up to this fake shit, implying you are a real one. Mind you, I'm saying that not as the person who said those lyrics said it, because if you know Ye, then that can also be taken with a grain of salt. What I'm saying it as is taking the words, but meaning it from a place of understanding your worthiness, not ego-filled. Your ego is not your amigo. You guys know Dr. Dre says that all the time. We've said it on this podcast hundreds of times, and it's not any less accurate. All right. So we're talking about, and we're saying those things from worth, not from ego. All right. It's not kicking yourself off your own team, aka self-abandoning. Being a solid individual comes back to you being plugged into you. You are grounded. You are founded. You make decisions based off principles and not emotions. However, you have to also key into your emotion, your energetic motion, because your emotions are telling you things. Going back to the anger conversation. And if you are ignoring your anger, or no, you don't want to see me angry, let me go on ahead and do my defense mechanism of choice. Smoke my weed, fuck my bitch, get my, alcohol, go make money, go back to school. Oh yeah, workaholics, career students, trust and believe. Those are all defense mechanisms too. They're just socially acceptable. My workoutaholics, trust me, I've been you too. Workoutaholics and workaholics, trust me, you're in good company, right? The reason I won't get my PhD, my EDD, my PsyD, my sociology, any of my doctoral degree, the reason I'm not doing it is because school is a game I know I can win. I would be doing it from a place of comfort and not because it's God's best for me. So as a solid individual, if I'm checking in with not just what I think about me, but even more importantly, what God thinks about me, because in my personal opinion, that faith, Maida, our love Maida, is the one that brought up that someone who is solid is someone who is in touch with their faith. If you are in touch with yourself, you're also in touch with your calling, with your purpose, which is what your divinity says about you. Somebody can only talk about me too many ways before I'd be like, God don't say that about me. I told Quick that. I was talking to Quick and I said, somebody said this about me. And it's like, nigga, God don't even say that about me. He said, oh, stealing that all 2025. I was like, I can see that, David. I can see that. But yeah, when you are solid, honey, you are an individual that is grounded, founded. You plug into yourself. You are dependable. You are trustworthy. You are someone who is decisive. You are devoted. You take your vote away. Decisive, meaning you make a decision that forsakes all others. And when you do it with confidence. And if you need to change it, okay, you change it and you self-forgive if you did something quote unquote wrong. But you do. You are not a person who lives on safety. You are not a person who lives on potential energy. You live on kinetic energy. And if people didn't know who or how you were, all they would have to do is look at the results of your life. Look at the patterns you keep. And that should be able to determine who and how you are very accurately. So if you are a painter and you know that you have buku of ideas and art galleries that you've researched and stuff that you want to put together, but every day you clock into your job, your 9 to 5, your 6 to 10, because man, I just got to pay these bills. I just got to pay these bills. You are living life incongruently. It's not to say that you're not solid at all, but it's to say if I looked at your life as my evidence of whether somebody I could tell on the outside, hey, that's such and such a solid. What they would have to realize is you're living a double life. You're incongruent. You have a whole lot inside of you and a whole little to show for it. Much different from if you are in love with your 9 to 5 and a part of how you plan to be the painter that puts yourself into the art gallery is that you have the 9 to 5 and that you're learning certain skills so that when you get the right positioning at an art gallery, you can have the right conversations and you've learned negotiations and you've learned worth and you've learned. That's completely separate. That's completely separate when you use your 9 to 5 like a paid internship. I think you are a fucking genius when you do that. But if you know you are something within you deeply and on the outside of you, what you show doesn't determine the same information, that might be the opposite of solid. Whatever that might be, you can fill in that blank. I don't want to put that in the ethos anywhere. But episode 14 of Raise It Up Why the podcast, January 2020 episode, at around the 7-minute and 13-second mark, of course, 13 seconds. But the 7-minute, 13-second mark, And I wasn't even looking for this. Own at my witness. I was just going to the episode looking for something else. And I stumbled upon Wyann reading the post I was putting out as I was getting ready to release the Wyann EP. My first piece of music, my first body of music that I put out ever. And what I was saying was so profound that Wyann at 39 stopped Wyann at 43 in her tracks. And I just had to listen. Like, whoa, shit, 38, excuse me. I was going to be, no, Wyann at 37. I was 37 in 2019 because I turned 38 during the pandemic. That's what I did. So for sure, wow, that's a crazy little walk down memory lane. But know this, it's really important. Another way to stay solid where I'm concerned. This podcast is like a monthly journal. I get to kind of see the evolution of Wyann. For better, for worse, good, bad, sickness, and health till death does she part. You understand? But it's my holy matrimony with me. So I'm not looking to impress another person. I'm not looking to come off well to another person. It's Wyann versus Wyann. And really, if it's just Wyann and Wyann, there is no versus. It's Wyann hand holding, putting her arms around, hugging, spooning, being with Wyann as she has done this journey, you know, over this time. And you guys can go listen to what Wyann at 37 had to say about putting out her first bit of music. I've put out more music since then, and I've had a lot of life lived since then, and it was kind of beautiful, I gotta say. So I'll leave you all to do that. But that episode was called How Do I Raise My Self-Awareness? And boy, if self-awareness didn't come up in this conversation about what it means to be solid. Once again, as we conclude these Wyann's words of wisdom, being solid is moving with integrity. Having the ability to be held accountable. Break up with your ego. Allow yourself the gift of aligning with your love, which says that you can be corrected in love, which is accountability, and that you can accept the full self that you see there, that you are aware of what your faith, what your divinity says about you. You live by principle, not by feelings, fugacious feelings. You are a person whose character speaks louder than their personality, right? You are honest. You have integrity. You are authentic when you are solid. You stand by yourself, whether you're in the right or the wrong, and you allow yourself to forgive yourself in order to be redeemed with your community, with your partners, with your friends, however you look at it. But you are an individual that aligns with you. No self-abandon. No. Okay. All right. I was wagging this and I just wanted to make sure I didn't wag the bottom of this arm, because I'm not kicking myself off my own team. Okay. I played basketball all day today in a mud mask around a bunch of fine men. I could not believe walking into that gym. So we've definitely concluded the Wyann's words of wisdom at this point. And before our mother loving go, we're in the pay you do. Yeah. That was my Nate Dogg impression. Okay. Pay Your Dues, the portion of the podcast where I highlight businesses, people, dope mofos that I think y'all should know. And the first is always and has always been, I love to do more than you knew. My cousin, Maya Smith, her husband, my other cousin, Brian Smith, are We Do on Instagram, OUIDOUX. And they are the founders of I Love the Do, ILOVETHEDOUX. This hair has been grown out by their products, as well as my hair lady at Hair by Quista. And today for this look, this is like day 3 or 4 hair. I guess, after a braid out with Mousse Def. Simple and plain, just Mousse Def. It was like I washed with, I'm so sorry, that the new line, the straight hair line, I call myself a straight gangster because I wear my hair straight most of the time. But with all these going to the gym and stuff like that, I just was like, I needed something. Oh, and to hold this crown, I needed my hair big to hold it. But I used that shampoo and conditioner. It's amazing. The new line, that is my favorite line. Straight up. I know I'm supposed to say different things, but the only thing that I like beyond that, more than that, is the Mousse Def. So this is, again, however many day hair. That's Mousse Def right there. Onette has the most enviable curls on the planet, and you're using, that's day 4 hair. I think I'm day 3. I think this is day 3, because it was so defined on the first day that it almost was like, damn, I wish it were bigger. So I was pulling at it to try to get it a certain way. Yesterday, of course, was the day I love the best, and I'm like, are we taping? Absolutely not. So that's not even true. Saturday was my day I liked the best. Yesterday was cool, and I was in the sauna, and then earlier today I was in the sauna, and this gentleman came in. Okay, so here's I love the do. ILOVETHEDOUX is the number 1. Pay your dues. Number 2, we said it at the top of this episode, HeatherB from Sway's Universe and your karaoke sitch. Thank you. I mean, I was your queen to be. But no, Nene, who our running joke is that Nene actually won. It's another beautiful contestant that was singing. She did the Humpty dance. She kicked off the night, and she was extraordinary. She was from Oakland, just like Sway, and she got up there, and I think one of the co-hosts and I, Tracy G, I believe her name is, and I were the first people to get up. Do it, baby. We were up doing the Humpty Hump because, of course, people in there was young. They didn't know how to do the dance, nor did they know that there was a dance to the song. It was sad. But respect to the young people there. All right. At the happy hour, WHB with Heather B is how you can follow Heather B online. Please support her karaoke night when it comes to your city, because I do believe that this proof of concept will show that it should be its own tour with Sway's Universe at Sway's Universe. Also, make sure that you are following my homeboy who took me there at Cue the Music. I'm so thankful for him and for being seen when I needed to be seen. I met amazing people there, like Karma, like Mello, Melanie is her name, like Yvonne, I believe is who's right here, and our girl, what's our Pisces princess's name? It's so funny. Everybody that was sitting next to me, I can see them in their order. If you go to the reel that I created on at Raise It Up Y, RAISEITUPWY, you can see all these beautiful ladies and how gorgeous. Hey, my following, all you men. Go see how gorgeous these chicks are, huh? All right. Healed Women Heal at YAC, I think 19. Some numbers after this was right here. Her Instagram is Mellow 2.0, I believe. And then Karma's is, I don't have it all the way memorized. However, I know that these are my Libra goddesses, October 2nd and 16th. Over here, Pisces Princess was February 24th, and my Leo mommy was August 3rd. It's so funny what my brain decides to remember versus what it forgets. So I will put this beautiful mic down that is literally contributing no sound to this podcast. Boop. My dad saw that. He was like, hey, you got to make something with that mic. I'm like, Daddy, it's a prop. He's like, let's see if we can run some wires through it. It's a prop, respectfully. Number 3, I know y'all see this. To y'all left, my right. This Haroni arrangements out of Boss Lady, aka Snoop Dogg's wife's bag brand. This Haroni arrangement looks so good. I don't know that we're gonna take this down. I think this is not coming down. Not by my volition. I'm not taking it the fuck down. I'll tell you that. At Haroni.arrangements, HARONI period arrangements. The founder, creator, and the creative eye behind this gorgeousness is sitting right there at Onet_Ashe. So thankful for her on my team with 13 Presents. Number 4, Luv Culture. Y'all already know I'm always going to thank you. And within Luv Culture, one of our great friends that works at Snoopy's Clothing. He does not actually work at Snoopy's Clothing. He's one of the directors and filmographers, if you will, of Death Row Films. My homeboy named Kiefer. I met him initially through DJ Pooh on The Pharmacy with Dr. Dre many moons ago, but he's been working on and with Death Row Records, Death Row Films, as well as Snoopy's Clothing. And last episode, he allowed me to come ransacked their closet. And on this episode's pictures, you'll see the hot pink, bubblegum pink Snoop Skechers I have on with this outfit that I currently have on, as well as I was provided one of these beautiful bags from Snoopy's wife, Boss Lady's brand. I'm just so thankful for my relationship with my boy Kiefer One LA. I'm thankful for him, and at Snoopy's Clothing always. Some of the loves even won some trivia, Raise It Up Why trivia, where they got Snoop on the Stoop and Snoopy and E40's cookbook. Shouts out to Keena Bina 143 and Young Fly and Flashy respectively. And last but never least, at Raise It Up Y, RAISEITUPWY. Just know this year we've released music. Wyann has. Also, there's been Wyann's book, A Woman Winnin in the West, that came out the first 13 of this year. I got to keep reminding you guys that it's out there. One of the chapters talks about what I was speaking about with, do you stand up for who you are? Do you stay loyal to yourself, or do you switch up when you're in a studio? One of my chapters talks about that, and I believe it's chapter 3 of A Woman Winnin in the West. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the lesson that says, be responsible for your own damn self. Listen, my loves, please stay on your own team. Don't kick yourself off your own team. Stay solid. I love you. I thank you all for listening. We've been knocking out these quicker episodes, and I like them personally. I'm not going to front with you. And until I see you next month, stay real, y'all. Boom, cat. Down. Hey, Penny, yow.
Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Hey, raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up.